And sticking to the startup space, Housing.com co-founder Advitya Sharma, who quit the company in March this year, is now betting big on the education sector. He has launched Genius Learning Labs, a network of micro schools to be run by individual teachers. Shruti Mishra caught up with him to know more about Genius Micro Schools and what went wrong at Housing.com and why he quit. Here's a slice of that exclusive conversation.
We're trying to work with entrepreneurial teachers and set up classrooms at their house. We'll provide them with some amazing technology, which will customize itself for the learning needs, interest, and pace of every child. It'll create a knowledge graph of every child and understand where the child is good at and where he needs more help. And accordingly, on a tablet, a child will be able to access his own playlist.
You're looking to start with 500 micro schools and you plan to open up in July. Are all plans on track?
So we've gotten an overwhelming response, to be honest to you. In just 3 days from launching, we've got more than 2,000 teacher registrations, right? That's more than 4 times what we had expected.
What is the age group of children that you're looking at and what is the revenue model? How do you plan to make money?
So we're focusing on kindergarten till 8th class. And the reason behind that is that that's the age when children are learning fundamentals. If you look at 10th, 11th, 12th, that's more about, you want to acquire a skill to be able to crack an exam. So traditionally, the revenue model isn't very different. The parents are the customers for education for their children. So they'll be paying for enrolling and registering their children onto the Genius Micro School platform. And we believe that entrepreneurial teachers are a very important part of the whole journey. So we'll be figuring out a revenue split with those guys.
Looking back at Housing, you were 12 co-founders who started the venture. Most of you have moved on and even started up new ventures. Housing too has revamped, its core management team. It's now increasingly focusing on revenue generation. Do you see Housing today as the way you had envisioned it?
See, when we started off, we didn't even know how to build a company. We didn't even know what a company was, right? So I think we came a long way in these 3 years. But having said that, at different phases of the company, it requires a different approach, a different set of people. We were great at building a product. We were great at changing the way the market functions. But to be able to instill that in day-to-day operations, I think there are more experienced people who can come in and take the charge. I've been excited about creating a Ferrari, not necessarily driving it. So, yeah.
Right from Rahul's resignation to the massive layout and everything else that happened in a very short span of time. Do you think you and your team could have handled things better in a more mature, professional manner?
When you raise a $100 million round, right? You get this erroneous notion that by throwing money at the problem, you'll be able to solve all the problems. I think that is when we lost a bit of focus. And we realized that we have to take some corrective measures to be able to do that. I think we handled it pretty well, the restructuring of the organization. It was a very tough few months. Even in my final email to the company, I said that the last 9 months were the toughest of my life.
Going forward, how do you plan to scale up Genius Micro Schools and what can we expect by end of this year?
Looking at the inbound overwhelming response that we've gotten, I think we might even start with around 800 to 1,000 micro schools. We want to be very selective about the teachers that we enroll onto the Genius Micro School system. And hopefully you'll see us touching the lives of tens of thousands of children by the end of this year.
And you can catch that entire interview on Young Turks this weekend. But with